Welcome to Monticello, the architectural masterpiece and beloved mountaintop home of Thomas Jefferson. Step into a world where history, design, and innovation converge, and explore the mind of the man who authored the Declaration of Independence. We invite you to discover the stories of those who lived and labored here, from Jefferson himself to the enslaved people who built and maintained this iconic estate. The 2011 Monticello Jefferson Nickel is a modern U.S. coin. Here's a breakdown of its history, market value, and condition. Introduction and history. The Jefferson Nickel, featuring Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and his home, Monticello on the reverse, was first introduced in 1938. The design by Felix Schlag remained largely unchanged for many decades. However, the U.S. Mint introduced a series of new designs for the nickel between 2004 and 2005 to celebrate the bicentennial of the Louisiana Purchase and the Lewis and Clark Expedition. In 2006, the U.S. Mint returned to the Monticello reverse design, but with a new, more modern portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse. The 2011 nickel is part of this return to Monticello series. Condition and P Mint mark. The P Mint mark on a 2011 nickel indicates that it was minted at the Philadelphia Mint. When a coin is described as being in fine condition, it generally means it has been in circulation for some time and shows moderate wear. The design elements are still visible, but the finer details may be worn away. In numismatic grading, fine is a specific grade that falls between very good and very fine. For a common, circulated coin like the 2011 P. Jefferson nickel, the fine condition is not particularly valuable. The overwhelming majority of these coins are worth their face value of 5 cents. The 2011 P. Jefferson nickel had a mintage of 450 million, making it a very common coin. This high mintage means that even in uncirculated condition, the coin is not a key date or a major rarity. Uncirculated examples might sell for a small premium above face value, but this is usually a modest amount. Super rare coins are typically those with specific errors or varieties. The Jefferson Nickel series was introduced in 1938, replacing the Buffalo Nickel. The coin was designed by artist Felix Schlag, who won a public design competition. The obverse front of the coin features a portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third U.S. president, while the reverse back depicts his home, Monticello. The D Mint mark on your coin indicates that it was minted at the Denver Mint. The 1996D Jefferson Nickel is part of the standard series that ran from 1938 to 2004. During this time, the coin's composition was 75% copper and 25% nickel. It's important to note that a special wartime version of the nickel, which contained silver, was produced from 1942 to 1945 to conserve nickel for the war effort. The 1996 nickel, however, is a standard copper-nickel coin. Silver color shade and condition. The silver color shade you describe is a bit misleading. The coin's composition is primarily copper and nickel, which gives it a silvery gray appearance. It does not contain any silver. Unlike the wartime nickels, the term silver-colored is simply a way to describe its appearance. The condition of a coin is a critical factor in determining its value. Coin grading scales range from poor P to perfect for uncirculated coins. A fine condition coin is a circulated coin that has a good amount of wear, but all major details are visible. This is a common grade for coins found in circulation. Market value. The 1996D Jefferson Nickel is a very common coin, with a mintage of over 817 million. Because of this high mintage, most 1996D nickels are not considered rare. Asterisk in fine condition. A 1996D Jefferson Nickel in fine condition is worth its face value, which is 5 cents. It holds little to no premium for collectors. Asterisk higher grades, even in higher uncirculated grades MS, for mint state, the value is generally low. An uncirculated 19960. Nickel might be worth a few cents to a couple of $50,000s, $2,000, depending on the specific grade and eye appeal. A coin with full steps. On the reverse, a rare and desirable feature indicating a strong strike can command a higher price, but these are difficult to find. In conclusion, while your 1960 Jefferson nickel in fine condition is a nice piece of modern American history, its high mintage and circulated condition mean it holds no significant numismatic value beyond its face value. The 1996 Jefferson nickel is part of the Jefferson Nickel series, which began in 1938. The coin was designed by artist Felix Schlag, who won a mint-sponsored contest. The obverse front features a left-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third U.S. president. The reverse back depicts Monticello Jefferson's Virginia home. A key detail of this specific coin is the P mint mark, which is located on the obverse, just below the date. This signifies that the coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. The coin is composed of 75% copper and 25% nickel. It's important to note that the silver color you mentioned is a result of its standard copper-nickel composition. There were wartime nickels, minted from 1940 to 1945, that contained 35% silver, but the 1996 issue is not one of them. Condition and market value. The value of a coin is highly dependent on its condition, which is typically graded on a scale. Fine F is a specific grade that indicates a coin has been in circulation and shows -1 to considerable wear. It's an important distinction because a coin's value can increase significantly in higher uncirculated grades. Asterisk circulated condition like fine. 1996 Jefferson nickel in a circulated condition, such as fine, has a very low value, generally worth its face value of 5 cents or slightly more. Price guides suggest that a circulated 1996 nickel is worth around 10 to 20 cents. The value increases significantly if the coin is in uncirculated or mint state MS condition. For example, an uncirculated 1996 nickel can be worth anywhere from a few cents to a few dollars, depending on its specific grade. For example, MS62, MS64, etc. Asterisk full steps condition. A particularly valuable variant of the Jefferson nickel is the full steps FS designation. This is a special grading for uncirculated coins, where all 5 steps of Monticello on the reverse are clearly defined and sharp. A 1996 Jefferson nickel with the full steps designation can command a much higher price, with some graded examples selling for $25,400. Asterisk mint errors. Coins with minting errors can also be more valuable. Examples include off-center strikes, broad strikes, or die cracks. Prices for these can vary widely depending on the type and severity of the error. A 1996 Jefferson nickel in fine condition, as you described, has a minimal market value and is primarily of interest to a collector looking to fill out a complete set of circulated coins. The higher value is found in uncirculated examples, especially those with the full steps designation.